We've been hearing for the past couple of years that the federal government is just throwing money at the states. So you might be asking yourself, okay, where is this money? Well, we at the Colorado Health Institute decided to find out. I'm Joe Hanel, Communications Director for CHI, and I'm a former journalist. So there's nothing I love more than following the money. That's what we did at CHI this past summer when we tracked nearly $10 billion in funding for public agencies here in Colorado. The money we tracked is from a bill called the American Rescue Plan Act, passed in early 2021. It's one of three major new laws championed by President Joe Biden, the other two being the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law and the Inflation Reduction Act. Altogether, it's the largest federal investment in the states since the Great Depression. We're particularly interested in the American Rescue Plan because it has the most funding for health and human services, although the other two laws make important contributions too. Now, anytime you have multiple funding streams, it gets complicated of keeping track of where the money's coming from and where it's going. So in 2021, CHI created a financial map for the American Rescue Plan. We traced it from the federal agency that it originated with to agencies in Colorado that received the money. Now, that's a useful thing to know. But by 2022, Colorado policymakers were making decisions about how to spend the money, and we wanted to know that too. So we basically had to add a layer to this map. We assigned the funding to five different categories. Now, these are not official categories. This is CHI's classification, our way of making sense of this massive bill and allowing you to see where the money is and the size of the funding streams. The categories we settled on are the legislature, local governments, that's cities and counties exclusively, education, mostly K 12 schools, but also colleges, state agencies that got funding directly from the federal government and that bypassed the legislature, and then a catch all for everything else. Most of that was transportation, although there is some funding for community health centers in there. Now, we think this is a valuable contribution because there's no single source for tracking all the money from this bill. How'd we do it? Well, a lot of computer work. We put it together by first reading the bill and then searching section by section for local, state, and federal websites that detailed the spending. Some agencies were better than others at that. I want to give gold stars to the Colorado Department of Education, which made it really easy to find all the school district plans in the state, and also to pandemicoversight.gov, which attempts to trace all the funding recipients throughout the United States. The highest profile slice of this pie is the legislatures. In 2021 and 2022, the legislature passed bills to spend almost $3.8 billion that it received through the American Rescue Plan Act. And legislators made very large investments in behavioral health, housing, and economic development. If you keep clicking through the dark blue portion of this graphic, you can see the relative size of the programs that they decided to spend on. Each of the outermost slices of the pie represents a bill, and if you click on that, you can find a link to the legislation. It's important to keep in mind that much of this money isn't spent yet. The legislatures decided the programs that should be funded, but now it's up to the people who manage the programs to actually put the money to good use. Under the federal law, they have until the end of 2026 to do so. So that means this money is going to continue to play an important role in Colorado policy for the next several years. We hope this financial map can help you follow that money and empower you to participate in the process. You can find it online at the short link we've listed here. Thanks so much for watching.